Hey coach, how's it feel to be a head coach for the first time and get out there with your guys during the first spring game in your career, really? I'm excited about the opportunity to coach these guys, and I couldn't be more excited to be the head coach at Rutgers. Coach, who are your impact players going into next season? And also, what do you think of this quarterback, Jonathan Johnson, who's going to be a sophomore next year? He was a top recruit for Rutgers a season ago. It was obviously before you got there, but what do you think about him? Look, Jonathan Johnson has a chance to win the Heisman next season in his first season starting. Just remember, this kid was one of the top recruits. He has size. He's 6'3", 220 plus. I mean, this guy is amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to coaching all of these guys. And then I can't leave out, Dan Bailey at running back. He's going to be amazing for us as well. And then we also have a ton of receivers. Kyle Smith is going to make a huge impact. I could definitely see a 1,000-yard, 10-touchdown season for him. And then also some other guys. Morris Vaughn is looking good in the spring. And a lot of these guys, they worked hard. They know that we're going to air the ball out this year, and we're going to have a dynamic offense. So it's going to be a lot of fun at Rutgers. Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And welcome to the offseason after Season 5 going into Season 6. And you saw Adam Miller has accepted the head coaching offer at Rutgers. Now, he's going to have a big, talented roster to work with. And look at us, our progression. We've got a new contract extension, a 5-year deal, from going 1-11 in Season 1 to back-to-back 11 in 3 years and capturing our first conference championship. And we have not won a bowl game at all, 0-3. So that is definitely, it's going to be biting us all year. And if we don't finish in the big game, well, it's not a successful season anymore. We got to be better. Now, after winning the national championship, the LSU Tigers have hired our defensive coordinator, Ethan Aguayo. Wow, what a big leap forward for Ethan. I'm happy for him. He is now in the SEC and is at the reigning defending national champions, LSU. Wow, what a big move. We will talk about who we hired at defensive coordinator later in this video, but just know Ethan Aguayo is gone. Head coach Brett Favre is not the coach at Marquette anymore. It's Brian Vincent. Wow, Brett Favre is out. If you're wondering where Brian Vincent actually came from, he was the head coach at BYU. So he is making a pretty big jump there. BYU was in the Mountain West. Now they're, I believe, in the Pac-12. And now he's going to the Big Ten. This will actually be our biggest senior class as far as guys leaving. Ryan Robinson is going. He was a starter at safety. Our kicker is going, Marvin Woods. Antoine Franklin, who's been a 4-year starter. Shaq Royal, Elgin Lloyd, James Chaney, Chris Coretta, Joey Moss. I mean, so many good guys are leaving. Jabari Blaze as well. And Ebiselli, Derek and Pinto, Jacoby Beck. I mean, everybody is leaving. And we will need to replenish. It's definitely going to be tough. I'm going to miss a lot of these guys. So we did not have any transfer requests, but going forward, I am not going to be accepting any more transfers just because I want to give, the custom recruits opportunities to play. And I don't want to, it's not really taking advantage of the game, but you can get a lot better by accepting transfers. So I'm not going to do that in this season. So let's look at draft results really quick. I want to see what Ohio State Brent Thompson ended up being. And I'm pretty sure it should have been a first rounder if I can find their team here. But let's just see. So he ends up going in the 3rd round, but Miller does end up going in the 1st. Merritt goes in the 1st as well. So they had a pretty good draft class so far. And let's just see if Marquette had anybody. I doubt they did, but let's just, take a peek. Oh, so Nate Henderson does go in the 7th round, so they get a draft pick as well. So going into recruiting in the offseason, we do have kind of a lower ranked recruiting class right now, but we have a lot of talent. I got to admit it. So we have Ali Myers, Jonte Batson, and then Justin Royal at cornerback. We are shored up at cornerback now. We will probably not even have to recruit there for a couple of years. Then looking at the rest of our recruiting board, we have some talent at the top. Amonte Jacobs is a 5-star receiver. We are 1,000 behind for him. Tamari Jamison, though, we are in 1st for him. Michael Bradbury, we're in 2nd for him as well. and then Alexander McCluger as well. So we're going to have to really decide here. Buster Edwards does lock us out, so we're just going to remove him from the board. Too bad he does not want to come to our school. But then J.J. Wyatt, and I really like J.J. Wyatt. He's 75 overall, and just looking at his ratings, he's 75 with a +4 right now. There's a possibility that he can go up even more, but I'm going to unlock his full ratings, obviously, when he does commit to the team if we do get him. So let me divvy up these points. So I'm going to make kind of a tough decision here. This is actually really tough. Amonte Jacobs is a receiver, 5-star, obviously, but do we need him? Just looking at our returners at receiver, Xavier Storm, obviously, Maurice Jackson, Bryce Greer will be a tight end lineup at receiver quite a bit. Francis Smith will be a junior. Anthony Swanson will be a senior. And then also we have Marquise Moore, who got redshirted last season. So instead of going after Amonte Jacobs, I don't think I will at all. And seeing that we do need linebacker, because remember, Derek Pinto is graduating. Marvin Woods is graduating. So many guys are graduating, and J.J. Wyatt is probably going to be our highest rated recruit altogether if he does commit. And we are in the lead, so it makes sense to go in on him the most. So we're going to put 4,000 of our 10,000 points on him. I'm not going to go after Jacobs because 1,500 points is just way too much to overcome. And even then, we're using 1,500 just to get back to even. Then you have to use some to kind of beat the competition. So I'm going to go after linebackers here with Tamari Jamison and J.J. Wyatt. Now, I don't know if 2,400 is going to get it done for Tamari Jamison. The one thing that we have riding for us is that we are in first place right now, but he looks like he's going to be the future at linebacker if he does commit. Michael Bradbury, I'm going to go after quite a little bit, just 1,500. I wonder if Troy will go after him, but seeing that he's a 4-star recruit, they probably will. And then Sir Alexander McCluger, I will also go after him as well. Because, I mean, just think about it. We are going to need one of these linebackers, really. 2 of them, honestly, because our linebacker core isn't really too deep, and now we're losing 2 of our starters. We're going to need at least 2 out of the 3. Hopefully we get that. And then we do need a kicker as well. And Marco Ford right now is our best option. And I put 700 on him. I probably could go less because if you think about it, I don't know if Minnesota is really in the running or Marquette. They're behind 2,000. They're going to need to go all in. So maybe I will reduce this just a little bit and then put the rest on maybe Michael Bradbury here to make sure that we do get some receiver depth. But I am in second place with him, so I'm thinking I have a better chance than Amonte Jacobs. So let's just see where we end up. So Marco Ford does end up at least being interested, but maybe he just decides not to play football. It looks like he was going to commit to the Whitetails, and I don't know if he'll be on our roster. I guess we'll have to see as we go on and see if he is on our roster. Amonte Jacobs, wow. Iowa, they only beat us by 1,700. So if we would have put about 2,000 on him, we probably would have got him, but that's just retrospect looking back. But we do lose out on Amonte Jacobs. Michael Bradbury does commit, so we do put enough points to get him over Troy. 920, they were behind. I am surprised they didn't go after him harder, and he commits, so he will be on our roster. Another receiver adding to the depth. Joe Burgess, a pretty good tackle who I will redshirt more than likely. He will commit, and J.J. Wyatt does commit, and I'm looking forward to this guy. Seriously, he is a talent. And he's probably going to be a 4-year starter. I don't know if he'll play this year. I think he will because he's pretty talented. And Tamari Jamison commits. So we get 2 of the 3 like I wanted. Sir Alexander McCluger, unfortunately, does not commit. Army goes in on him, and they will get him. Ryan Gaither commits as well, and some other guys. So let's see where we do end up with the recruiting class. And let's just see after this week, 91. All right, so we go down, and that's all right because I think our top end talent is a lot better. We only had 16 total recruits, but I'd say our top end talent is pretty good, starting with Bradbury, Wyatt, obviously, and then Tamari Jamison is 5th as well. I like this class. I am not too mad at it at all. So Marquette does finish with the number 21 ranked class. They get a 5-star recruit, though, in Wilson at tight end. So pretty good for them. I just want to see where the other schools ended up. So Rutgers gets 4 4-stars. Remember, they were a top 10 class last season. They land 19 recruits total for 4 stars. And let's just see if there are any other notable schools in the top 50. I don't see any. Tulane, look at Tulane at number 40. That's pretty good for them. But yeah, I guess the other schools didn't really have huge recruiting classes. And look at Wisconsin at 55. They really needed a good year. Looks like they didn't, but I guess we'll have to see come forward. So we will have a couple of position changes. Now, we do have a new defensive coordinator, which I will be getting to at the end of this episode. But Jonathan Simmons, we made the switch earlier in last season it was kind of in the middle of last season, to move Jonathan Simmons over to defensive tackle, and we will do that officially. He goes up +1 overall. We will be moving to a 4-3 scheme because our new defensive coordinator is bringing in a new scheme, and Jonathan Simmons now rated 80 overall before training, and he will be there at defensive tackle right away. Now, we do need to scheme around this defensive line. Big Bobby Mathis will play a big role, but I do want to keep an eye on 6'8" Anderson Reed at redshirt freshman. He is going to be really good. Now, watch out for him. He can really get after the quarterback at the point of attack with his strength. Watch out for that on the edge. And then at right end, Colson Kavoris and Jake State Farn will play a big role. Now, Bobby Mathis will play a little bit of right end as well, so watch out for him. But Colson Kavoris is a sophomore redshirt. He's been on the roster for 2 years now. It's his time to play. I think he's going to be ready for the job. Now, J.J. Wyatt comes in as a 75 overall. It looks like he did not move from that. But looking at his ratings here, he is a very good tackler. If you look at his tackling, 82, one of the best on the team. But at middle linebacker, we don't have many options. Tamari Jamison is our best rated middle linebacker. So what I'm going to do is move J.J. Wyatt over to middle linebacker because we will need that help. He goes down 1 in overall because of that, but it's not a big hit, so he's going to fit perfectly in there as Richard Lewis goes over to left outside for his senior year as well. David Wyatt is going to back him up, and then at right outside, Blake Childress will still be the starter, but watch out for other linebackers rotating in. Derek Sewell will definitely get some playing time. A lot of guys will. Now we move on to training to see who did get better, and look at Justin D. Roberto, +7 overall. Wow, that is some dramatic improvement. And let's just look at his throwing ratings. 87 throw accuracy now. He went up +5, +2 in throw power. I mean, he had the best off season of anybody. He's ready once again to get back to the Big Ten Championship and get a first BCS Bowl win for this squad. He goes up at running back this season in his senior year. Yes, he's only had 1 year of starting, but I'm looking forward to it. He is a power back, and look at his trucking, 90, the highest we've ever had at running back. Now, looking at receiver, all of our guys went up quite a bit. Francis Smith is our highest rated guy right now, but Xavier Storm is our best wide receiver. There's no doubt about that. Now, some redshirt guys that we did not have this past season playing, but will play this year. Marquise Moore, he was a quarterback in high school. He will be a receiver in college. He converts over, and look at this, 97 acceleration. He is an athletic guy. Watch out for him. Along with Maurice Highlights Jackson, they will be in the slot quite a bit, with Maurice Moore playing on the outside a little bit more than other guys will. But Trayvon White, watch out for him too. He is a pretty good, he's a faster guy, 89 speed, but not as quick, but he's got the big play ability. Don't get any doubts about that. He can run routes, 82. It's pretty good. At tight end, Bryce Greer goes up to 74 overall, 86 speed. He's going to be electric at tight end. Our offensive line goes up quite a bit, but we have a lot of juniors and seniors. We're going to need to recruit offensive line for sure, with Dante Nichols also being a senior as well. At defensive end, Big Bobby Mathis goes up +4 overall. He is going to be a starter for sure and will need to step up because last year we tried to start him. Seemed like he just wasn't ready. He will need to step up. Colson Kavoris goes up +5 overall. Simmons at 84 overall. Let's just look at his ratings here. He's at 84 tackling, 82 hit power. Power moves at 81, block shed at 85. He is a monster. I can't wait to see what he does in his sophomore year. At middle linebacker, Jason Dead and Victor Dimitri are going to be two linebackers who are going to rotate in quite a bit between the two. I don't know who's going to be in a lot, but I guess we'll have to see. Depending on the package, they will both play. Now, Blake Childress has the best offseason of any right outside linebacker. He will be a starter for the second straight season. He had 37 tackles a year ago, 8 for loss. He will be pretty good. I look forward to having him more in coverage this year, and that's something I can take advantage for. He is an athletic linebacker, so I think he's going to have a pretty good season this year. At cornerback, Marquise Dorsey, Zane Alexander, and Coco Bamaye also have really good off seasons, to be honest. And just looking at Coco Bamaye, he's going to play quite a bit this year as well, with Elgin Lloyd graduating. All three of these guys will be atop of the depth chart this season. And obviously, we recruited well at cornerback this past season. They will probably all get redshirted just looking at these guys. So I'm looking forward to those guys at defensive back. Nathan Beaver goes up +6 overall. He will be 86, one of our highest rated guys on defense. And then Cam Duvano will be the starter at strong safety. We'll see. I'm not really sure if he will really excel in this role, but at 99 awareness, he should be good. Because we did have problems with him when we did try to make him a full-time starter. He was giving up a lot of big plays. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Now, we talked about it earlier, but we have decided to hire an alma mater, a guy who is 1 year removed from being a cornerback, Quintarius Jones, one of the original walk-ons on this team. Last year, he served as the assistant to the defensive coordinator, and he now gets his shot. And one thing about him, he runs a 4-3 multiple playbook. So he is going to depend a lot on man coverage. He's going to do a lot of aggressive play calls. You're going to see a ton of blitzes from. So it's definitely going to be a different looking offense. We usually play a lot of zone, and we always rush at least 2 linebackers on a lot of plays, maybe 1, but he's going to use his defensive front, and he's going to use them the right way, really, and get after the quarterback. So you're going to see a lot of man coverage. So we are going to upgrade the block shedding here for him, and we will upgrade. I'm not sure why it's not letting us upgrade here, but we do have an upgrade. We will upgrade that block shedding. So usually there is 7 teams on each side of the conference, looking at the custom conferences now. And let's just look at the promotions from this year. Appalachian State gets promoted, and so does Cincinnati. Now, actually, in the American Athletic, I believe it was UCF that actually went to the conference championship, but it was on a technicality because they went 7-3 in conference. Appalachian State went 6-3 in conference, but UCF ended up going because of that 1 extra win, but they were only 7-7. So Appalachian State was, I believe, 10-2. So they actually get promoted over them. I thought it would just be unfair that time for us to promote a 7-7 team, so I didn't do it. And I'm actually going to demote 2 other schools, and it's going to be Minnesota, and I think I'm going to demote Northwestern as well, and then balance out the conferences. And we'll see how that goes, because right now I think having 4 non-conference games is better than having 3, and I think I like that format, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's just fix that real quick. So this is how it's going to end up looking, and just so that we play Marquette every season, they will end up being on the East, even though they're actually in the West in the Big Ten Conference. I will keep them over there. Vanderbilt will also be in the West to kind of balance out the power, because remember, the Big Ten East had a really good season last year, and Appalachian State will make the West a little bit stronger so that, the powers are balanced out, because Cincinnati actually had a good season as well. They will move to the East, so this is what it's going to end up looking like. So let's look at the other conferences to see who's been promoted and demoted throughout the years. Rice has actually been in the ACC and has not got demoted in 3 seasons, and Marshall actually just got promoted this year, so they're a notable team. Now, looking at the SEC, though, it's been pretty much the same schools that have been promoted and demoted. Georgia State actually made it up to the SEC and has been there for the last 2 seasons, so they've stayed. So coming after or going into next season, I'm pretty sure I'm going to switch which conferences get promoted and demoted based on, you know, their parent and their child. So I'll definitely make a change. I don't know if the American will be our child conference anymore for the Big Ten. I'm pretty sure I want to switch it to the MAC because the MAC has produced some pretty good teams as of the last couple of years, especially just looking at, I believe I have them lined up with the Big 12. They actually produced a pretty good team last year in UMass, who went, I believe they went 10-2, and BYU actually had a good season as well. I also thought it was pretty cool that I now have Appalachian State in the Big Ten, and now I get to set this as a protected rivalry, Michigan versus Appalachian State. That's going to be pretty funny. If you guys remember, you know, that upset Appalachian State had on Michigan, what was that, like 10 years ago now? But now they're coming back to a head, and they will play again this season. So let's talk about our schedule in Season 6, and I think the game made a mistake here. We had a protected rivalry with Marquette, and they did not schedule the game. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But anyway, let's get to our schedule. This is going to be our toughest schedule yet, and we are going to open up first, number 14, Mississippi State. I want to play teams that we haven't played, so we will go on the road and play number 9 USC in our second game. And in the first game of the Big Ten, we will play Vanderbilt, as they had a pretty good season last year. They will be looking to build off of that. Then we'll have a bye before our second Big Ten game, and that will be versus Adam Miller and Rutgers. That will be an awesome game, as he will be looking to kind of put some new life into that program. He's got a lot of talent. But then we will play SEC, big powerhouse Florida on the road. And wow, that's going to be a tough game. And this schedule to end the season is tough. Michigan State, that's going to be a tough game. Nebraska, that'll be a tough game. At Wisconsin again, that's tough. But we do play Navy at home, and they run the triple option. But then we'll be at Navy and end the season versus Appalachian State in Cincinnati. That's going to be a lot of fun. Wow, and we get to end up playing the team we lost to in the bowl game, the last game of the season. I love it. So one thing I do every season before starting a new one, I do run the random playbook generator on the offensive side of the ball. Remember, we're running a 4-3 multiple because our defensive coordinator, Quintaris Jones, runs a 4-3 multiple. And we will see who we land on. Remember, we cannot have duplicate playbooks. So whoever we land on, we will use. And it's going to be Kansas. So I have no idea what type of playbook they run. But we will be running the Kansas playbook here in Season 6. And we will use it for the remainder of the season. Now, to end this episode, you guys may be wondering what happened to Bryant Simmons. He transfers to Wisconsin. So for the next 2 years, he entered the transfer portal. He will be a Wisconsin Badger. And you can just see he's added a little bit of speed. He's progressed in the offseason. He looks pretty good. And he will be their starter for the next couple of years. And why did he go to Wisconsin? Well, his little brother, Brian Simmons, is the running back at Wisconsin now. He is a redshirt freshman. He was redshirted last year, and he will be the starter. So he will get to play with his little brother going forward for at least the next 2 years. Brian Simmons will be the starter at running back, and Bryant will be the starter at quarterback. So that will do it here in the off season. We've had quite an eventful off season with new coaches, players transferring. This is going to be a fun season. I can't wait to get into Season 6. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Season 6 coming pretty soon. I do need to create all of the custom recruits and everything. So be on the lookout for the next video. Should be coming pretty soon. So stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I be trying to do me, but they be trying to copy though. Only problem with that is they not me though. People act cool, but really they be shiesty though. They say they got your back, but they ain't even behind me though. I be low key, but police be trying to find me.